think it might rain soon. Maybe we should go inside. Whoa! Rain is a part of our planet's water cycle. What is the water cycle? Most of Earth is covered in water, but water doesn't just stay in our rivers, lakes, and oceans. Water moves through land and through the air. The water cycle is the movement of water on, above, and below the surface of the Earth. It's a good thing it's not raining here. You're right, Moby. It's pretty sunny. The sun helps power the water cycle. What happens when water heats up? Energy from the sun heats up water in lakes, oceans, and other bodies. When water heats up, it can evaporate or turn from a liquid to a gas. Liquid water turns into a gas called water vapor. You can't always see water vapor, but it's all around us. Water vapor floats up into the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the air surrounding a planet. What happens to water vapor in the atmosphere? The air high above land is very cool. As water vapor rises into the atmosphere, it cools down. Then the water vapor condenses, or changes from a gas to a liquid. Tiny drops of condensed water join together to form bigger drops. As more drops join together, clouds are formed. You're right, Moby. That cloud looks like Senor Maurice. Clouds can collect and travel across the land. As more water condenses and collects in the clouds, it becomes too heavy to stay in the air. What is precipitation? Precipitation is water that falls to the earth from the sky. Rain, snow, sleet, and hail are all kinds of precipitation. The kind of precipitation that falls depends on temperature and a lot of other things. When enough water collects in the air and clouds, it begins to fall to the ground. What happens to precipitation? Water from precipitation can add to rivers and streams, or end up in the ocean. Some water soaks into the ground and stays under the Earth's surface. This is called groundwater, which is an important resource. We use groundwater for drinking water, watering crops, and many other things. Some water that falls back to Earth's surface flows down to reach rivers, lakes, and oceans. This is called runoff. Then the sun can heat up the water again, and the cycle keeps going and going and going and going and going. Right, you get the idea. How can we care for our water? Water is an important natural resource that people, plants, and animals all need to live. But pollution can harm our environment. When water gets polluted, it's everyone's problem. Even though most of our planet is covered by water, very little of it is fresh water that we can drink and use. It's important to conserve or save water. We can take shorter showers, turn off the faucet when we're not using it, and tell grown-ups when we see a leak. If everyone in the United States saved 1 gallon of water a day, we could save 85 billion gallons of water per year. That's enough to fill a lake. I I bet we can find tons of ways to save water, Moby. Hey, great idea. Oh no, you're leaking. What happens when water evaporates? It changes from a solid to a liquid. It changes from a gas to a solid. It changes from a liquid to a gas. It changes from a gas to a liquid. What happens when water evaporates? It changes from a liquid to a gas. What might happen if it rains in a polluted area? Animals will come to the area and clean it. The area will stop being polluted by people. Pollution will keep the area from flooding. Rain might carry pollution into rivers. What might happen if it rains in a polluted area? What powers the water cycle? Plants, the sun, wind, animals. What powers the water cycle? What happens when there is more water than the air can hold? The water turns into water vapor and rises up. The water falls to the ground as precipitation. The water evaporates and turns into clouds. The water condenses and turns into a gas. What happens when there is more water than the air can hold? Where can you find most of the Earth's water? In the oceans, in the clouds, frozen in ice caps, under the ground. Where can you find most of the Earth's water? In the ocean. Hard. Which is a form of precipitation? Solid, light, sleet, wind. Which is a form of precipitation? Where does most of the evaporated water on Earth come from? From the oceans. From the rivers. From the lakes. From the ponds. Where does most of the evaporated water on Earth come from? happens when water vapor condenses and collects in the atmosphere? Groundwater flows faster. The sun shines brighter. Clouds can form in the sky. More ocean water evaporates. What happens when water vapor condenses and collects in the atmosphere? Which sentence is true? Very little of Earth's water is fresh water that we can drink. Most of the Earth's surface is covered by large bodies of land. Precipitation is the way liquid water turns into water vapor. Water stays in one place and does not move on our planet. Which sentence is true? Sometimes water runoff flows into streams or rivers. Why might this happen? The ground is absorbing water. The ground is permeable to water. The ground is saturated with water. The ground is depleted and lacking water. Sometimes water runoff flows into streams or rivers. Why might this happen?